Hey, Melissa.
Hey, am I the... Yeah, I guess I'm the only one on here, huh?
Yeah, so far.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Good. Have you got a chance to see the Google Docs? I was able to research 3 different assisted living communities, but
Okay.
only one of them actually had the pricing online. The other 2 I had an email, and one of them didn't answer, so.
Okay. Yeah, no worries there. Just
How's it going, guys?
hey, Ryan. All right. Well, got some of us here.
I'm sorry, I have a crying baby, so I'm going to be muted for a minute.
No problem. All right. Melissa, was yours in a document and a spreadsheet?
It was in the Google Docs.
Okay.
It was the one that we started last week, and I just added, it's like, I started at the bottom of the page and it went to a next page.
Okay, perfect.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hello.
So I'm sorry I missed the last meeting. Where are we exactly?
So right now we are putting together our assignments from last week.
Okay.
We're just gonna go over kind of what we have done for that, and then we'll work on assigning out who does what for this coming week's assignments.
Okay, sounds good.
Yep.
Looks like we're missing Victor.
Yep. Victor and Heidi, but Heidi's gonna have me call her again. And she's just gonna listen because she couldn't get the plugin to install or something.
Huh. So weird. I wonder if she were to try a different browser or something. I've never had
Yeah.
to download a plugin for Google Hangouts.
Yeah, and I don't remember. It was so long ago that I don't remember if I had to download a plugin to run it or not. So
Oh,
I'm gonna give
same
her
here.
just a second.
Okay, I think we're good. She's done crying.
Look at that. All right, so it looks like Heidi's ready. So I'll give her a call and I guess we can get started.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Hey Heidi, you ready? Okay, awesome. I'll put you on. All right. So Heidi's on here now, so she's just on via phone conference call. That's everyone but Victor, right?
I think so.
All right. Does everyone want to briefly go over what they found out, or what way do we want to kind of go over it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be good.
I think it's a good idea.
Awesome. So, let's see. Do we want to start with, the first assignment was the, what's it called?
Strategic map, competitive analysis.
Yes. So those of you who worked on that, do you kind of want to go over that a little bit?
I probably am included in that one. I wasn't too sure what I was supposed to do. I just did a bunch of research on different assisted living facilities in Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina.
Awesome.
So is that my role right there?
Yep, that was one that we were, that we would have liked you to do since you weren't there.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Let me see if I could share my screen. I could show you kind of everything I have.
Yeah, let me start recording. Oh, it is recording. Is it?
Yeah, it says live on there, which
Yes,
means
sir.
it's recording.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So I found one in Florida. It's called Westchester of Winter Park. Basically, it was hard to find pricing exactly on each of them unless I called them, and I did actually call some of them, but I wasn't able to speak with anyone because I was at work today. But I did find, basically, for each place I found like everything that they offer. So all of their activities, the different types of accommodations they have, whether it's like a studio or like a 2-bedroom suite. Let's see. And the services included. So just kind of everything they offer, and then I found some reviews. Here's another one in Georgia. They're all very similar to same services, what type of housing they have, activities. And then this one I was able to find the cost. So that kind of gives you an idea.
Oh, nice.
And then the last one in South Carolina, all of their, they said their average monthly cost is about $3,125. So, but I did find a table of kind of like the range of the monthly costs in each state. So here's Florida. This is the minimum, median, and maximum. Florida and Georgia right here. And then South Carolina.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's good information.
Okay. That's basically what I found.
I can go next, right?
Okay. Oh yeah. So Heidi's ready.
Okay, so I had South Carolina, and I found 3 different places, and on the site that I had, it showed prices, and I'll just give you those. So for one of them, it was $2,500, and one was $2,800, and then there was one that, those are pretty similar, and then the last one, it gave a little more assistance, and it was $3,200. And as I was looking, it shows the activities, the amenities, the services, all of them, and then just more information on them, like how many units it had for the bedrooms, and like kitchenette, and how many hours of service it had. So those are pretty similar. Just the only difference in that last one was it was a little more assisting. But yeah, so that was basically what I found, and I have that all saved. So that's what I got.
All right. And then let's see. Who else had that? Melissa and Jessica. You guys had this part as well, right?
Right. I added mine to the Google Docs, and the three that I did was the Bridge in Orlando, Atria Senior Living in Spring Hill, Florida, and the last one was Brookdale Senior Living in Winter Haven, Florida. The other two, they didn't have anybody available, and I emailed them requests. The last one was Brookdale, and they had their pricing online, and it is rather expensive. So independent living apartments range from $1,000 to $10,000 per month, average
Wow.
being $2,300 to $3,500. Assisted living is $2,600 to $3,800, and care fees average $800 per month. And then they have the Alzheimer's care, which is from $3,350 to $4,900. And then short-term care, which is if you're, between nursing homes or you're between just wanting to go home, after is $6,000 to $8,500 per month. So that kind of gives us a range of what we're looking at as far as different amenities. And they also include eating, housekeeping, transportation, health and wellness. And on these two, I think they also incorporate a wellness. Like they have yoga and Pilates and stuff for their older patients, which I know we talked in our last meeting about wanting to incorporate that with vitamins and stuff, so that could be something that we could include as well.
Awesome. Great. And that, let's see, and then we have Jessica, right?
Yes, sorry.
Okay.
I'm still dealing with my baby. Okay, I'll try to share my screen. Can you see that? Georgia
Yeah.
facilities? Okay. So I put it on the Google Doc, but I found three. So one is Social Circle Nursing and Rehabilitation Center. That one's like a pretty standard nursing home. They accept all types of pay, private pay, Medicare, public aid, private insurance plans. They start, I think they're in general $4,400 monthly, but that could be subsidized with Medicare or whatever. Square footage was around 100 to 250 square feet, so pretty small.
Like a tiny house.
Yeah, they went all the way up to major care. So they did do pet therapy there and dentistry, and then all types of medical services. The Piedmont at Buckhead, this was like one of the nicest ones I've ever seen in my life. They only accept private pay. Each room has a full kitchen, full beauty and barber salon, a little cafe on site, a fully equipped fitness center, a pool and a spa, in-house theater, like all kinds of stuff. Each room had its own washer and dryer even, and it went from independent living to like assisted living. So it didn't go all the way up to major care, but it was right in that range of like middle. Prices started at $4,500, but the rooms are really big. Like it would go up to over 1,500 square feet.
Oh, wow.
And the smallest one was 618 square feet, so a lot bigger than the standard nursing home room. They had 5 stars in their reviews. Let's see. The Benton House, which is actually where my grandma stays, they accept private pay and veterans benefits. I think this is more the type of maybe what we're looking at for choice care. So amenities where every room has a kitchenette, there's a beauty and a barber salon on site, a family-style dining room, media center, weekly housekeeping, and everyone has their own individual room, so it's like their little mini apartment. Prices start at $4,000, so the smallest is 330 square feet up to 552 square feet, so pretty good. Prices do go up as care level goes up. And they have 4.5 stars. So that's what I got for Georgia. And I have pictures, but they didn't translate. But the Piedmont at Buckhead is like, it looks like a hotel. It's super nice.
Do you mind forwarding me the Google Docs?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Are you not on our shared page?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, send me your Gmail if you want to type it into the comments. I didn't have your Gmail address,
Oh, sure.
and then I add you on there. That way you'll have full access to all that stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. So to wrap up that assignment, let's see. Jessica, you said you'd be willing to submit that assignment. Is that correct?
Yes. So are we going to do a spreadsheet? Did we figure it out?
So I've kind of been playing with the spreadsheet a little bit, but the thing is we don't have a standardized kind of reporting for the different levels and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of hard to determine what we're doing as far as the different items in it.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking we could do is if we could have those of you who did this assignment, if you could let's see, if you would just get together and submit this information to someone. I said I would do the spreadsheet, so if you guys can get that to me, that'd be great, and then I can go forward with that.
And then I was going to do the screencast after you did the spreadsheet.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, so I'll upload everything I need to tonight.
Okay, so yeah, so what we are needing is on the charts axis we have cost on the one, and then the other one we have the amenities. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the type of facility, for the color of the bubble, we're going to put retirement home, assisted living, and nursing home because those are what we identified as the 3 different levels. So we'll classify each one most likely is, and then we'll do the facility, and that will be the size of the bubble, just the quality of the facility. Does that work, or?
So for mine, if you look at mine, what do I need to add to it? Just so I know.
Let's see. Just a second. I'm trying to write this down too. Does that make sense, or should we do something else, or?
I think that makes sense.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I have all the information.
Yep. So for each one, if we could just do a summary for each one, and do a just in a chart, maybe with like the facility, just on a rating of what 1 to 10, in the facility quality, and then we do the amenities on a scale of 1 to 10. Then the type of facility, whether it's a retirement home, assisted living, or nursing home, and then the cost on a scale of 1 to 10 again, I guess.
Okay, so you're wanting us to do this for the ones that we just did, and do you want us to put it like on a spreadsheet and attach it to the Google Docs?
Yeah, if you did it on a spreadsheet and attach it to the Google Docs, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to make this chart use the chart area because we have more more inputs than what there was on the chart.
Okay.
Well, I can just delete the ones I didn't get pricing for because they're not going to be of a benefit. So I'll just use the one that I have pricing for and do a spreadsheet on that one. So it'll limit how much information you actually have.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how to get this to work, right? So, unless someone else is very, very competent in Excel and knows how to change the sourcing from the charts and wants to do it. I thought I had it, but I guess I don't just yet.
Looks like Jessica just sent an email saying her computer shut off. She's not sure why.
Oh.
But, and Rachel, I added you to the Google Drive, so hopefully you should get that in your Gmail.
Yes, I'm looking at it right now. Thank you.
Perfect.
Whose number is someone's number is 661-810-5969?
I don't know. Maybe that's Victor. I have everybody else's phone number from last week, but I don't have his phone number or Heidi's written down. Could be one of those. Oh, it's not Heidi's. It's probably Victor then.
Might be, yeah. They just texted it to my email though, so it's kind of like weird.
It is weird.
Wonder if the discussion board, if he said what his phone number is.
So are we looking to have 3 from each state?
That was kind of the initial goal.
Okay.
But again, either way. I'm not sure. I don't think that's him. It's saying something not related to the class.
Huh.
It says, it's like being a spy. You can't hear or see me, but I can see what you place on your screen. You hear everything I have to say because you invited me.
Somebody said that to you?
Yeah.
That's really creepy.
You know? Unless we have someone's wrong email in the email chain. Yeah.
Doesn't look like it, but
Unless one of you guys are just messing around.
no. I don't think any of us have that kind of time.
No, I'm not worried about it. Oh well, anyways, sorry to get sidetracked there. So if we want to go ahead and have all that information from, let's see, if we want to create like an Excel spreadsheet on a Google Doc, and if everyone can put their information about the different facilities there, about that, and then we can I can import that and make the spreadsheet for that.
Okay, and you want us to focus on cost?
So yeah, cost on 1 to 10, amenities on 1 to 10, facility quality on 1 to 10, and then the type of facility, whether it's a retirement home, nursing home, or assisted living.
Okay.
With the retirement home having the least level of care, assisted living kind of the moderate, and the nursing home the extreme. No.
And then you also want us to do a summary.
I don't know if the summary is necessary.
Okay.
So yeah, I can do that. Just put the spreadsheet together, and then she volunteered to present that in a screencast and submit that for us.
Okay, perfect.
Any further questions there, guys?
Now, when do you need this by? Like tonight?
If we could get it tonight, yeah,
Okay.
just right after the meeting, if you had, 5 minutes to just rate your different facilities, that'd be helpful because then I could get the spreadsheet done tonight and send it to Jessica because that would give her tomorrow to get it done and Wednesday if she needed it.
Okay.
Just
Okay, that'll work.
stay on the ball and catch up from last week. And then in the next part, Brian, Victor, and I worked on. We kind of let's see. So Jessica, she just sent another email. She gave us her phone number, says anyone wants to call her or let her know what she needs to add to her spreadsheet. This one want to call her and see if they can dial her in, kind of how of Heidi.
Yeah, I'll call her right now.
Okay. Awesome.
So it looks like Victor did put his stuff on this Google Doc.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
This is not here.
Hello.
Hi, Jessica. It's Rachel.
Hey.
Hi. Okay, I have you on speaker.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we'll go ahead and kind of share what we gathered real quick. Which one are you looking at, Brian?
I'm looking at the original one we created, just like the actual Google Doc.
Just the choice pair one?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to move that over to the one that you started that I added my stuff onto?
Do you like into the Google Drive or?
Yeah, into the document that says the B383 business model investment size Brian.
Oh.
I added my stuff just onto there.
Gosh, I don't even remember creating that. It must have. That's weird.
I'll just change to investment model.
Yeah, there we go.
And then one of us could just share the screen, and then everyone could just look at that. We don't have to switch screens and stuff.
Yeah. Let me. I'll copy and paste it in here. I wonder how that got there. Interesting. All right, let me copy and paste.
Yeah, it's the first one that shows up alphabetically now.
Okay. Okay. All right, I just copied and pasted his.
Perfect. Is everyone able to access that Google Doc, or do we want to do a screen share?
I can, if not everybody can access it, I can share my screen.
Is it the business model one?
Yeah.
Are we looking at the business model? Okay, yes.
All right.
I got
All right, so I'll start talking about the revenue sources. I guess that's one I put together. So different revenue streams that we have. The one is going to be the primary stream. It's just going to be the monthly subscription care, basically. The second one is going to be the adult daycare. Unless we have other things we want to add into there, and I'm definitely fine with that. That was just kind of what from what I remembered last week when I put this together, like yesterday, what I remembered like yesterday and today. So.
Yeah, that sounds right. And I mean, unless we'll have different. I guess all those amenities would be included in the the monthly fees. That's kind of the whole point, right?
No, it kind of is.
Yeah. Okay.
Then the source of each revenue stream. The primary source is a subscription or membership. The second is just a service fee, and it's on a daily or monthly basis, which is weekdays only. Relative size and importance. The most important one is the monthly care with the rooms. The one after that, it's a smaller portion of the business, but it's also of kind of similar relative importance, because what I kind of felt is that if we have guests in the adult daycare that we provide, then if they're in that program, they end up needing long-term care, away from home or whatever, and they don't have anyone to care for them, then our facility would be their choice. So it kind of leads to that if that's what they're going to need.
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of a research on the revenues. If you look at the chart, what I just put together is Florida would be $4,400 for a room, and an additional $1,500 if there's like a spouse. Georgia $4,200 and then an additional $1,500. South Carolina $4,400 and an additional $1,500. The adult daycare service I put at $95 a day or $1,600 a month. What I found is adult daycare is nationally averages about $1,492 monthly. So I feel like that's kind of in line with that, but a little more because we do have a premium facility. And then the comparison of the costs, Florida's average cost is $3,150, Georgia's $2,880, South Carolina's is $3,125. I wasn't able to find any costs on the additional guests. I don't know did you guys find anything like that there's extra money if they have a second person staying, because they're consuming some time of the employees for care, they're having 3 meals provided a day, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I didn't find anything like that.
Did anyone? What was that, Heidi?
Just a second, looking really fast.
Okay.
One of them just says guest meals, but it doesn't have any pricing.
One of them says what?
One of them says guest meals.
Okay.
But that's all.
They're just trying to find information on how much it is if there's a husband and a wife in a room together, rather than just one person in the room. So I can do a little more research and try and finish that one off for that information there. But as far as that goes, any questions? Anything we need to modify that's kind of out of our vision for this as a team?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that looks good.
All right. I can go ahead and talk about Victor's. I didn't put it together, but the cost drivers that he has for us will be renting the facilities, or paying the mortgage on them, the purchase of the equipment, and then salaries, wage expenses, and license certification. Not exactly cost driver though. It's like the things that drive the cost. What would you guys say the bigger cost drivers are? This is a brainstorm.
Finding the right employees that are certified technicians, or what just quality employees, and not just quality, but they have to have the right qualifications and certifications to obviously be a caregiver, or if they have medicine on site, they have to have obviously education or training or certification to administer medication and prescriptions and whatnot.
Yeah. So yeah, the cost drivers I think we're looking at are the things that drive our costs. So if we could take our overall cost of operating the facility on like a monthly or annual basis, we could find a kind of a correlation between the number of residents receiving care, or the number we have available, or the number of employees we have.
Yeah, that's true.
So would you say number of employees, the residents receiving care, and the rooms available, or I mean anything else
Yeah.
that really impacts? Because the amenities are gonna, or cost of amenities too, huh?
Yeah. Trying to think. Yeah, it's hard to say really, other than the kind of the general ideas that we've been coming up with that you would imagine being the cost drivers, since
Yeah.
none of us are too familiar with that.
Yep. So fix would be rooms available, um, semi-variable.
Yeah, I would just say like the amount of staff and then the amount of um, patients, I guess would be the right word.
I think the patients might be more variable than semi-variable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, was that you that said that, Rachel? Sorry, I don't have my.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with Rachel. I think semi-variable would definitely be staff, because it's semi, because for the most part it'll be fixed, but as you have more occupancy, you're gonna have to up your staff every now and then.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Variable, yeah. I don't know. Guess could be,
Patients, whether they would be semi-variable or variable.
yeah, because if they're assisted living, they could be there for a number of years. If it's like daycare, yeah, that's variable. Uh,
Just looking
good
at the
question.
document here. So the amenities would be semi-variable.
The fixed costs include rent. I don't know if he's thinking we'd be renting his facilities. I think probably not.
No, yeah, I don't know. This was really A quality work, I guess.
I'm not sure.
I think employees actually might be variable. That you just pay them on their hour. Their
Well, there's
salary too, huh?
yeah, there's quite a few that are salaried. Um,
Salaried staff and hourly staff, maybe.
yeah, there you go.
That really sums that up. The amenities are semi-variable because you have the fixed costs of them are always there. But then, say you're using this thing or this more than the other, then that the amount of miles you drive with the transportation or something.
Yeah,
And I think the fixed one, actually, the rent would be more of a non-recurring with the rooms available. It talks in here in the document that we read that this assignment's based off of, that items of cost that appear irregularly or infrequently in the company's cost structure. And that examples include investments such as purchasing a building or equipment. But
yeah,
then this annual rent is fixed though, so I think we're not going to have our place paid for anytime soon.
yeah. No, with what we would be doing, we definitely need to be getting investors and bank loans.
Mm-hmm. Now, patients, would they be a variable cost driver or a semi-variable?
I guess we could put it as variable. I mean,
I would say variable.
Okay.
you
Residents.
could have some there that are there for maybe a couple weeks, couple months, some there for a couple years, and you never know. So yeah, variable's good.
Okay. Yes, that does that. So I think the stuff Victor wrote, we kind of just need to redo. Does everyone think so, or?
I think you could keep some of it. I mean, you take out rent for the different facilities, because I think he's looking at it from the resident's perspective on that one.
Did you want to say something, Jessica?
Are we changing the price according to their care? Or are we?
Wait, I'm sorry. Are we changing the what?
The price according to their care. So we kind of talked about last time, I think.
Oh, okay.
The basic assisted living, and then the one with like more care.
I think
I mean,
yeah.
we can take off a few $100s off of one, and then add on like a
That's a good question or a good point.
care package.
Yeah.
Like packages, like there's the lowest and the medium and high. We don't have to get so into each one, but or make too many different packages. Just make it kind of simple.
Yeah, I agree.
Like one package you can have with basic care, one package you get a little bit higher, plus you get, like the beauty, extra beauty or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like extra services could be
Well,
another way to generate revenue.
I know we kind of talked about that. One thing I came across in researching is that there's some facilities that have their costs and they kind of just tack on every little extra thing off the rent. And there's other facilities that are more so all-inclusive. And I think we're like a premium care facility. What do you guys think about just doing an all-inclusive rate? Like, it's everything included, no hidden costs. So that way it
I like that idea.
Yeah, I like that. It'll keep it simple too.
keeps it simple for us.
Yeah.
Keeps it simple for the residents too, where they're not going to be nickel and dimed here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I guess it's kind of like we said, like if there comes a time when someone can't pay or something, or if they need more care last week, what do we do? And it's like, well, they go to a facility that provides more care, like a nursing home.
Yeah.
So, no, that's a really good question, though.
And I found something in Georgia. So at my grandmother, where she stays, it's $600. $600 extra a month if there was someone else in her room. So like if her husband were still alive, it would be $600 extra.
Okay,
Oh, nice.
that's a lot less than I thought. Do we want to modify our prices, like take it down to $900 a month then?
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
That way it's not 1,000 yet, but it's still kind of in the high end.
Yeah.
In Georgia, we're just going to put for an additional guess that it's $600. We're just going to do it across the line because that's the information we have. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. All right. And then as far as I don't know if there's really much difference in the cost drivers. The only thing I can think of them changing over time is the amount of residents, of the amount of people needing care.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Sorry, I was just reading what he said. I guess I didn't think about needing to clarify that 'cause we won't be renting usually. It seems like companies that, oops, lost my headphones there. Companies that or businesses that do assisted living. I mean, that's part of the investment. They build their facility, but if it's a full-scale premium facility like what we're planning on doing.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that? And do you want to go over the investment size? Brian, you did a really thorough job on that.
Well, I lucked out. I was just trying to look online and get as much information as I could, and I was getting kind of spotty information, and then I just like a light bulb went off in my head that I remember somebody that was in my home ward growing up who now is co-owner and general manager of a assisted living facility, and so I called him, and he gave me some great information. So how much cash is required to launch the business model? So as you can see there, we can build a higher end product for an all-in cost of between $150 a square foot to $170 a square foot. And this is, I think he was kind of basing it off of his, the 100,000 square foot facility, which will have anywhere from 100 to 120 revenue producing beds in it. And then he said about 55% occupancy would cover your expenses. So that would be the break-even point, basically. Obviously, you want to shoot for as much as you could, but so he said included in this number is the lease-up reserve, which is $1 million or 5% of the total cost. Lease-up reserve is just basically like your reserve. So, you know, he had to, it was basically, he didn't tell me this, but it was basically like $19 million for them. And they got a loan for about 15 plus million. And then they raised about 4.75 million. And in that, you have to have a reserve to cover your costs and expenses during your first, you know, few months or whatever, while you're increasing your occupancy, because right off the bat you're not going to have full occupancy, but you're still going to have full expenses, right? And so that $100 million lease-up reserve is what that is, and you want to be sure that you're getting past that 55% occupancy before you run out of that $1 million reserve. So he said that's based on 120 bed community, assuming you move in about 4 to 5 residents monthly. Let's see. Oh, I just went over that. Okay. It's important to fill up fast because that $1 million runs out. You have to go back to your investors and ask for more capital, and they don't like that. So I said it's important to be conservative with your lease-up schedule and your initial projections, so you make sure that you're able to achieve your targets. So you see there, to develop and operate a community that is this size, you would need to raise about 25% of its total cost as equity. So for a $19 million cost, you would need to raise about $4.75 million or $25 million of the cost. So I think he said in here, or he told me over the phone, that basically they had to come up with that money before they could approach the bank for the loan. So this is just for one facility that they have, and they started out with memory care, which is, you know, people with dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that. And now they're expanding and building on to their current facility, adding the assisted living, which is going to open up this fall or early next year. So I think this is kind of all inclusive of all of that. Let's see, how much working capital is required to sustain the business. So that's where that $1 million lease-up reserve comes into play. While you're in the beginning stages trying to lease up all your units. So this is what he's assumed, that you fill up in a timely manner and get to 94% occupancy, then about 60% of the total revenues once the business is operating are expenses. So you basically have expenses take up 60% of your revenues. So you're left with net operating income of 40%, which will then be used to pay your debt service and your taxes, and then whatever's left goes to owners/investors. And he said that's why it's important to get the best terms on your debt, so you can maximize the money left over for the investors. What are the timings of these cash needs? So during normal economic times, you can usually get a loan for about 25% of the total cost. So you get home for 14,250,000. So kind of what he said earlier. So the money you'd need up front from your investors would be roughly 4,750,000. And so that's pretty typical these days. Let's see. And then just going into more of the timings of the cash needs, for the first 30 months, you pay only the interest portion of that payment. And then after that, you'll be paying the principal as well. And the critical success factors: which elements of your company's business model are most important to achieving its profit goals? You need to have well thought out product with a competitive edge or advantage over the competition to sell in an area that has a demand for the product. So I think that's what we're doing by being a premium facility. We're going to have things like, I would imagine, like he says, they're going to have things like a movie theater, fine dining, like a billiards room or game room, media room, all of that kind of stuff, hair salon, all that kind of thing. And I think that could be our competitive edge or advantage, and that our price will be all inclusive. So then you talked about demand is usually assessed by a third-party company that you hire to do a market feasibility study. Let's see. So another element is solid sales and marketing team that is constantly going out and trying to get new residents or move-ins and converting new prospects to actual residents. Then the next one, the third one, is a great staff. We've talked about this as part of the cost drivers, I guess. A solid executive director watching the day-to-day business, and an awesome clinical director to manage the care and compliance of the community, which I imagine would be kind of intensive because I'm sure it's a heavily regulated industry. And then which of these elements are most difficult to execute? I think this is pretty typical with any business. Our family used to have a business, and this was always the biggest challenge and most annoying thing, is hire and maintain a solid staff. He said turnover in the industry can push as much as 50% in some communities, and turnover costs are huge and can impact morale as well as profitability. So he said challenges are very similar across the country. He said he's toured facilities as far east as Boston and then as far west as California, and he says it's all very similar.
Awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't imagine it being too different from place to place.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was kind of lucked out on that one. I was glad that I was able to remember that that's what he does and was able to get a hold of him.
Yeah, that's really
That's
cool.
super informative.
Yeah.
Good resource for what's going on too, if he's okay with that.
Yeah, I asked him if he wouldn't mind if I could call him every now and then. Obviously, I don't want to abuse it or anything, but he was really nice. He said, yeah. He said, for sure. So I'm sure I'll be calling him multiple times throughout this project. But yeah, he was super nice. He's like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, I got tons of spreadsheets that live data in there. It's he's like, this is what I do. And I'm like, all right, sweet.
Yeah, that works out.
Yeah, because he basically did what we're pretending to do, for our project. That's what he did.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so going forward, we have the plan kind of put together for doing the strategic map and competitive analysis. For the business model, Brian, would you mind submitting that? Would you mind being the one to submit that?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, we'll just all need to let's see. So we'll need to all write down what everyone needs to put. So person submitting is Brian. And then everyone's names we have Brian Miner. How does everyone spell their names? Sorry, I just want to make sure I got it right.
Let's see. Victor Flores with an S.
An S. Oops.
But yes, right?
What was that?
But yes, by everyone's name. But
Yeah, I think everyone deserves a yes for this because they either participated in this assignment or the other one. Let's see. We have Jessica. Jessica, what's your last name again?
Hall, Hall.
And then Rachel Todd.
Yes.
Is that how you spell your name? Can you see that?
Rachel and then Todd.
Perfect. All right, so everyone would submit that top part there. And then Brian, if you'll submit that, that'd be great. So that covers the stuff from last week. Sorry to make this meeting drag on forever. So for this week, we have a few assignments. Was everyone able to look at those?
I was able to look at the first one, the financial model assumptions, a little bit.
One's the financial model assumptions. Melissa, were you saying last week that you would be good at doing the financial statements because you are in accounting?
Yep.
Is that you? Okay. So it might be important to have you work on this one this week.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then
Let's see. Did that do this week then?
that is due this Saturday. Yep.
Okay. So now my question is, with the financial, do you want me to just kind of think of numbers, or do you want to give me something to work with?
So that's where this assignment comes in. What we do in this assignment is we consider the incomes, expenses, and the cash flow, and then we make the assumption saying we will, like for the example it gives, saying that we'll sell 10 products a month for $30 each, for a total of $300 monthly revenue, and we'll grow at 5% a year for the first 3 years. So
Okay.
just all the assumptions that go into building the 5-year model, so that way we can easily prepare the financial statements.
Okay. So I'll just go off the business model.
Yep. So just go off the business model saying how many we'll get. And then it says something along the lines of, where is it? I'm trying to think of where it was. But saying something about how basically one of the books we read told us that the assumptions would take up like 2 to 3 pages or whatever before that we actually go into the financial model.
Gosh.
Yeah. So, yeah, 2 to 3 page explanations in the first paragraph. 2 to 3 page explanation of the financials should precede the financial statements.
So maybe what we can do is divvy up this one so Melissa's not doing everything.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It's not just her on this one.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
it looks like the industry and competitive analysis is a little bit easier. It looks like it's just it's 3 to 5 pages. Never mind. So
Yep.
maybe we could just split in half.
Yeah, that's probably what we're gonna have to do is just form a team on each of them.
Okay.
Anyone wanting to work on one versus the other?
I will volunteer to do something on the industry and competitive analysis because I'm horrible at accounting and financial stuff.
Okay.
And I agree. I would love to do the industry and competitive analysis.
All right. So let's see. We need to write this down real quick.
Victor could probably help with the financial stuff because he said he was taking accounting or finance this semester and said he would be willing to help out with that kind of stuff last week.
Does someone want to create? How do you create a new Google Doc within the folder? Does someone know how to do that real easy?
So if are you accessing it like, here, I'll share my screen real quick. I think this is how you do it. Let's see.
Yeah, because if we just have a document for each assignment, that makes it easier than just piling them on the choice care one. And
Yeah, so I think you just click new if you're in the drive like this. Can you see my screen?
Yep. All right.
New Google Docs and
I'm going to make one for the industry and competitive analysis.
Are you making one, did you say, or do you still need?
Yeah, I just made one. I'm going to see if it shows up.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it did. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So industry and competitive analysis. We have Brian. Who else said they were? Was that you, Rachel?
Yes.
Okay.
If we wanted to keep this all in one document, maybe we could title it, what is this, lesson 5 assignments, and then have it like titled in there, like up top there, industry and competitive analysis, and then down below a little bit do the financial one. Or what do you think? To keep less documents?
Yeah, we can do that.
If you think, unless you want to keep it in 2 separate ones.
No, it's fine. I'll delete the financial assumptions one I just created. So.
Okay, not to interrupt, but I'm going through the business model of what Brian and Rudy did. It just says what we need, but it doesn't say actually how much we have. How much cash has the company come up with? How big is a facility? Are we doing 120 beds? I mean, I know we're going to do a steady increase, 20% or whatever, but we need to know how much cash, how much did we bring in from our investments, or how much money did our venture capital firm give us to start? Because that's how we're going to have to start with our financial statements.
It's a great question. I think if we want to offer a premium thing, maybe we go with that 100,000 square foot range. What do you guys think?
Okay, because I don't want to start projecting how much money and how much we're going to make and assume without having, since we're all here. Okay, so where did our resources come from? Do we have private investors? Are we part of a corporation? Because when you start doing investment, then you start talking about retaining equity and stockholders, and that's a whole different thing to the balance sheet and stuff like that. So
let's pick something to keep it
as
simple as possible if we can. We'll pick a structure that would be the easiest and simplest to do for this project.
You're gonna have to probably financing, just because that's kind of part of the entrepreneurship course that we're in.
Well, financing would be okay. So are we going to then have a loan from a bank, or are we going to be a corporation that allowed us to sell stocks, and then that means that we're publicly traded? So I think private investors would probably be the best thing.
Okay. Now I know from, if this is of any help, I know with this guy I talked, his name's Craig. They did, as you saw, kind of a combination of both, where they raised 4.75 million or whatever it was, 4.25, and then got a loan for 14. Yeah, they raised 4.75 and then got a loan for 14.25 from the bank.
I was kind of thinking
Okay.
we just follow the model.
Would that be considered plagiarism? Is if we use that?
Sorry, what was that? Can you
Is
ask that
that
again?
if we just took his?
I'm sure
If,
Brian could.
I mean, would that be?
Brian could probably.
Well, I mean, we can use those numbers.
Sorry, you keep breaking out towards the end. I hear the
Can you guys hear
beginning
me?
of what you said, but I keep.
Okay. So what I'm saying is that would it be considered plagiarism is if we used his numbers,
Oh
or
no.
maybe instead of okay. Well then let me do that. I'll use the numbers that you provided for our corporation, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome.
Our project is going to be cost is 19 million. We got 14 million
But that's for one facility. We have 3 facilities.
worth of a loan. We got 4 million. Well, okay, so then we have to.
Multiply times 3. But.
Do you guys want to?
Now that brings up a question,
Okay.
a good
So you
question
want to
for
do
me.
them times 3?
Do we want to continue with going for 3 facilities, or stick with 1, or what do you guys think? I know we decided in the beginning that we would do 3, but
In all honesty, I researched had all of them on the same premises.
oh, okay.
So yeah, things that the instructor wanted us to include is to make our product better than what's already available. So some different, options. And then it needs to be replicatable, and that we need to have a strategy for expansion into other locations. So maybe we start out with 1, and then after 2 years we build another, and then year 3 we build a third or something.
Okay. I think that sounds good. Start out with 1 because we can stick with these numbers that way, at least in the beginning, and then with regards to the different levels of care, like Melissa said, with her research, they're all in one premises, which is true, at least in the case with this guy. They have it all on the same premises. It's just it's 100,000 square feet, which is pretty large. So I was thinking more, when I was asking that, I was thinking more along the lines of like actual separate facilities or locations to have multiple, locations of all-inclusive facilities kind of thing. But I think, Bryce, you probably brought up a good solution or point for that, is start out with 1, and then our plan for expansion will be to add another in 2 or 3 years, and then add a third one after that kind of thing as we build up our revenues.
Like location, or a third kind of group of facilities where we go from assisted living offering nursing care.
Yeah, when I think of like a location, I'm thinking the whole package, like how we're talking about how we'll have, from memory care to assisted living to, whatever, like that's all one location, like one in maybe Florida, then like another one maybe in Georgia, or a third one in South Carolina kind of thing.
So are we wanting to take a comprehensive approach to elder care then, or do we want to just specialize in one area? Because I was, from what I had understood, we talked about we were just doing assisted living.
Yeah. Sorry, but I'm not making myself clear. I guess we had also talked about different levels of care, but I guess if we did decide on just doing assisted living, then that's what I mean, like locations as opposed to 3 locations starting out with just 1 assisted living
Okay.
facility, and then expanding if we, like you said, the teacher wants us to have a plan for expansion
Yeah.
over the course of how many years. But does that make sense? Am I making sense? Sometimes I don't
Yeah.
explain myself very well, but
Awesome. All right. Well, we've been a while. Is everyone still with us?
Yep, we're here.
All right. So we have Brian and Rachel working on the industry and competitive analysis. Melissa's going to do financial assumptions. That's all right. I'll be on there too as well.
Is there something you prefer, Jessica?
I'm not that great with financial stuff. I would like to do the competitive analysis, but I will do anything.
Right. And then what about you, Heidi?
I don't really care. What do we have left?
So right now we have 3 people on the industry and competitive analysis and 2 on financial assumptions, and then Victor, who's not present.
Okay. Just put me over muted.
All right. If you would help out with the financial assumptions, I think that'd be helpful. And we'll put Victor on the industry and competitive analysis. That way, I guess we have the 2 assignments split up, and whether or not he helps, we're not down a man so much.
okay.
If that works.
And then now within those, maybe what we'll have to do is figure out how to split each one of those up.
Yep.
So for industry and competitive analysis, it looks like the first 2 bullets, those kind of go together. So maybe what we could do is have 2 people research, like 2 different firms, and then answer the first and second points, and then we'll just have one person focus on the last 2.
Okay.
Okay.
You mean
Or
one each, or?
Okay. And then on the financial model, basic areas that it says to talk about are the, let's see, income, expenses, cash flow, assets, and liabilities. So as far as that goes, Melissa, you're going to be doing a lot next week working on the financial model itself, with the statements probably. So I'm okay taking on a little more for Heidi and myself, if that's all right. That way we kind of split it up better. It's not super heavy for you this weekend, next week, so you have maybe a lighter week this week and a heavier load of work next week.
Okay.
Just to try and split it up and be fair.
Okay. Yeah, because next week I have to create a 5-year financial forecast, income statement, balance sheets, and statement of cash.
Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be a 5-year of that, and I imagine I've never done that before, but I imagine it takes quite a bit. Heidi, is there anything you're wanting to this?
Not really. I can do out of the like 5 you just said, right? The like income, expenses, cash flow. I really don't care. I can do income, expenses, and assets if you want.
All right. What if you did the income, expenses, and cash flow, and I worked on the assets and liabilities? Because Melissa, do you feel like those go together, or?
Yeah, I mean,
right grouping.
Okay, all the financial statements flow with each other. You know, you start the income statement, and that flows into the balance sheet, and then you have to use the same amount of information for all of them. So that's why there's so many questions as far as what we need to start with, because once you do that, then you start forecasting at percentages every single month to the end of the year, and then that year then flows into the following year. So it's really hard for a few people to do them unless we sit down and we give out the costs, saying, okay, we have $20 million. We are assuming that we are going to grow by 20%. Our cost factors, our budget, everything you have to, and like the thing said, is that it's going to be really hard because this is all approximations, and it's all, so yeah, it's once someone starts it's easier to just finish it all. So the forecasting will have to be, I can do all of it. It's just having the time, and also collaborating probably by email all this week of what, so I don't mind doing it. I don't mind doing any of the financial. I just, if I have questions, just please, I'll email you guys, and just give me your thoughts and input.
Perfect. And then I was thinking, so we're meeting tonight and we're meeting on Thursday. Thursday, since we were kind of working on these assignments together, and they're both due on Saturday, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if Thursday we kind of come together with what we have, maybe talk real quick as a whole group, and then we split up into the two different groups and kind of hash things out and talk about the relevant things that way. And figure out what we need to do to finish up.
Yeah, that works.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, does anyone have any questions, or?
Real quick, as far as the our side for me and, oh wait, where did it go? Me, Rachel, Jessica, and Victor. I know it'd be hard without Victor here, but did we want to split that up right now, or what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, if you want to just pick whatever assignment, I kind of typed it out, you want, just maybe write your name next to it.
Okay. I don't mind doing the Porter 5 Forces analysis one, and then I can...
Bless you.
What was that?
That was me.
What'd you say?
After bless you.
Oh.
Oh.
Perfect.
I'll write my name on there, and then Porter 5 Forces. All right.
I'll work on like one of the assignment one.
And I think we probably should make it a habit of documenting all of our sources from here on out, and even go back to last week's assignments, because I'm imagining that probably at the end of the semester we're going to put together a big report kind of thing that's going to probably have everything in it. And it would be great if we had all the documentation done.
Sounds good.
I'll just put Craig.
Yeah. Got an insider, so.
I'll just ask him if he can just do this all for us. Wouldn't that be nice?
Just give us his business plan, you know?
Yeah.
You know what? Actually, could you ask him to just send us what type of financial statements he uses? Does he have like a program, or does he do it on like an Excel spreadsheet?
Okay. Yeah, I can send him an email and ask him, does he have a particular program he uses for his financial statements, or if he uses Excel?
I mean, I'm sure they use an accounting software, you know, and that's the thing, is that I don't have access to one that would allow me to create these, so I'm thinking if he would have an Excel spreadsheet. Well, I guess I could create one off of Word.
Well, I'm sure there's a template or something. Wasn't there a template in one of the books we read? They had a link to it. a template for generating
Yeah, that's true.
model
Okay. Yeah, that's,
financials. I mean.
you know, I'm gonna see if I still have QuickBooks on my. I thought I had QuickBooks on my computer. A makeshift company off of QuickBooks. Yeah, let me look and see if I still have it. If not, then I'll look for a spreadsheet.
Did you want me to still email him or?
Just email him just to get an idea of how much in depth he does. You know, 'cause you know, there's payables, receivables, there's assets, equities, all that good stuff. But how in depth are we going to be?
Yeah, I don't think we'll have to go terribly in depth. Just from
Okay.
experience with class projects, I think they just want kind of an overview type thing, like just to see that we're learning from this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can email him and ask him what he does, what he uses for financials, if he uses QuickBooks or some other type of software, or if they
Well,
go.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm sure they use some accounting software, especially if there's one specialized for healthcare. But
Yeah,
that
I
would be
know.
great. At least give me some example.
Yeah, I know in our business that we used to have, our bookkeeper used QuickBooks. Yeah. She was pretty old, so
I'm
if she was going to use old school things.
well. The company I work for, and we still use QuickBooks, and it's crazy because it doesn't work at all for what we use.
Oh,
So,
really? Yeah, there may be one that they use for assisted living. I'm sure, because I'm sure that's a lot more complex than
mhm.
most other businesses.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Okay.
send him an email, and then yeah, like we talked about, we'll just be really communicative through email throughout the week.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
All right.
All right. So just wrap up. I need to receive. Jessica sent me her information about her the places she researched. I need to receive that, just the ratings on all those, whether you put them in Google Doc on our folder and just send me a link to that, or you send them to me in an email or something. I need that from, let's see, Melissa,
And me, Rachel.
Rachel, and who was the other one doing that?
Me, I sent you mine in an email.
Okay, you sent me yours too in the meantime.
Okay.
I'll get mine sent over in like 30 minutes.
Yeah. I'll work on mine and send mine over within like an hour and a half or so.
Oh, maybe it was Heidi that sent me hers, not Jessica. I'm all kind of messed up, so. Yeah, but I need that tonight, and then I'll get that to Jessica sometime tomorrow before the evening, if that works.
Okay.
And then if you'll do that screencast and just confirm with everyone via email. And then Brian, you're doing the business model one.
Yeah, I'm going to submit that.
Okay. So, awesome. So yeah, if we just do that work on our parts, then we'll get together Thursday and then break up again for our different assignments. So.
All right.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Guys.
From the group doing the industry and competitive analysis, kind of want to email Victor, let him know kind of what happened, what he's assigned to do.
Yeah, I'll send him an email.
Okay, perfect. Awesome, guys.
Okay, thank you.
This is fun, guys.
Yeah. Sorry about the long meeting.
All right, see ya.
Hey, Bryce.